All right. So my highest intention for today's training is to help you identify what's not working and let that shit go. Okay. We're done wallowing in what's not working, but I do want to know what's not working. And I want to help you identify and laser focus on finishing the rest of 2020 on a strong note, because what we've been through this year, we're stronger than ever, and we're going to rock out this fourth quarter. And you may be here feeling overwhelmed. What I'm hearing more than anything from my audience is that feeling of overwhelm, and I would like to help alleviate some of that. So I'm just going to stop my screen share for a moment so I can check out the chat and see what's happening. Oh, hi, Erica. What's happening in your world? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Because there's a lot happening, let's face it, politically. We have an election upon us, which means the worst of the worst is being posted on social media, and the worst of the worst campaign ads are happening. And I mentioned my daughter being in Portland, as if the pandemic wasn't enough. Now part of the world is on fire. And so business owners are feeling very overwhelmed about COVID, very overwhelmed about what's happening in the world and how to do business in this current time. I feel like I have spent all of 2020 from maybe like March 1st until now, helping people rally and pivot and do the damn thing. And I'm committed that all of that momentum that we built so far, all the things that we've been through, has given us the right amount of momentum to like really soar and just slay Q4. What do you guys think? Janelle says, my industry in California is looking at January to open up again, which is hard. Right, Leah, overwhelmed because teaching your kids at home on top of what you're already doing, right? I left that little bit out. My kids are 22 and 20, and they don't live with me anymore, but many of you are homeschooling. There's civil unrest. There's just the regular stressors of running a business. It can feel overwhelming. And typically when I'm teaching this webinar at this time of the year, people's productivity is already taking a nosedive as we enter Q4, because it's like, as soon as that first pumpkin spice latte goes in your hand, by the way, it's not technically fall yet. Fall's my favorite season, but right, y'all start sipping on those pumpkin spice lattes and your productivity starts to take a nosedive. Many of you are mad. You mad about your income this year, right? Like Janelle said, her particular industry has some pretty serious COVID-based requirements that aren't allowing estheticians to touch you, particularly in places like California. So you might be pretty pissed about the money you're not making in 2020 yet. And you know what? You may be somebody that like, and if this is you, it would be most people, you tend to start to slack off around the holidays. Now, here we are in September, right? I'm wanting to get ahead of this for you. So pretty soon it'll be Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then the whole holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, and most people start to slack off. We've all experienced setbacks in 2020. I don't know a single person who hasn't felt in some way like what's going on in 2020 has been a setback. And other people, I'm going to talk about a success story, have had serious setbacks, but have still been able to pivot and thrive. And you might be here because you feel depleted and need more energy. One of the biggest things I hear from people right now is like, I just feel more tired than usual. I feel, and I know this is for sure me, I get irritated more easily. And my husband would probably laugh at that because he was like, you get irritated easy anyway. No, I mean, there is a marked difference in my fuse. It's shorter than it was. I'm more tired than I was. And you may be somebody like, you know, I'm mostly great. I'm mostly handling everything that's happening, but I want to amp it up. And if that's you, that's amazing. I'm super happy for you and I'm here for it. Let me see what's happening in the chat, and then I'll tell you about why I'm so committed to Q4. Martha says, I want to reconnect with my creative spark. I love that you're a writer and a strategist. Nadia says, I'm feeling overwhelmed financially. Hubby's historic inn is in the red. Not a good time to be in hospitality, right, Nadia? Your husband, your family is in one of those industries that's been hit particularly hard. Grace says, mad is a good thing, better than panicky. Right, some of you may be panicking. Yeah, done with hiding, grieving the loss of a loved one due to COVID. I have a friend named Robert who has lost 3 people due to COVID, 2 family members and a friend. And right, like there are some of you that live in communities that maybe haven't experienced the effects of COVID. Where I live in Southern Indiana, we've certainly had COVID, but not to the level of course, New York City or some other areas. Nadia, yes. If you're the breadwinner now, let's go. All right. So I'll share the slide and then talk about this. So we can all love on former Susan. This picture was probably taken 17 years ago. Yeah, 17 years ago, this picture was taken when I was in residential real estate. And the reason I like to show this photo, first of all, this is where I first learned to finish strong, and I'll tell you why, but it's also like, wow, the energetic difference in how I show up today versus then is pretty profound. And you can see that in this photo for sure. But one of the things that that has happened for me even then, when that photo was taken, is that my highest earning quarter is always the fourth quarter as a life coach, and it certainly was as a real estate agent. So here's the story, and those of you who have been around have maybe heard me reference this before. If any of you have ever worked in real estate or know a realtor, the holiday season tends to be a time when realtors are like, hey, nobody's buying houses during the holidays. Nobody's listing and selling during the holidays. Sort of true. Oh, hi, Ruby. 2 times in a row with me today. I'm so glad you're showing up for all of it. Think about it. I mean, most people, if you've ever had a home for sale, you don't want people scheduling showings and going in and out during the holiday season. Most people are really focusing on the holidays, their families, all the extra commitments and obligations that people have during the holiday season. So people aren't wrong necessarily to make the assumption that people aren't doing business during the holidays. However, what I noticed as a new realtor, because I was hungry for business, was that back then, like, I didn't have a choice. I saw other realtors really just like phoning it in, rolling up the sidewalk on their businesses in the fourth quarter, and basically having the attitude like, I'll hit it hard in the new year. And I started hosting I would be the one hosting their homes open on the Sundays. I was the one running ads. I was the one amping up my efforts in the fourth quarter. And guess what I noticed? Sure, there were fewer people out looking at houses during the holidays, and there was less inventory during the holidays to sell. But the people who were buying and selling were serious. They were serious buyers and sellers. And I ate it up. I was available. I was selling the shit out of Evansville real estate during the holiday season. And it taught me a big lesson. I carried that finish strong attitude. I'm like, y'all go ahead and go to sleep because I'm going to be doing all this buying and selling. And I carried that into my personal development company because entrepreneurs, life coaches, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have unless you're retail, which retailers love the fourth quarter, right? That's when most businesses, if you're in retail, go from in debt to flush with cash, being able to pay your bills. They seriously count on Q4 in the holiday season to make bank. So I carried that attitude into my personal development company and noticed the same thing happening. And you may have noticed this about yourself, like, oh, I'm tired. People are tired. They're like, it's just time to chill. Now, I'm already somebody who teaches having a life that comes first and then doing business from a place of tremendous self-care. So I'm not saying sacrifice your self-care or sacrifice family time. I'm just saying, like, don't roll up the sidewalk. There's a lot of business that can be done. And so since then, Q4 is always history. And every year since I've been in business, my accountant knows Q4 is when I just like kick it into high gear and sell and be of service and offer fresh approaches. And so you can too. And we're going to talk about how to do that. All right. What do y'all think about that? Y'all ready for some of that? All right. So highest earning, what if Q4 was your highest earning quarter of the year? Now, some of you may be saying that won't be hard because I haven't done much business this year. I get it, right? But what do you think? What do you think? So we would love to hear in the chat, and make sure that when you type in your answer, you change it from just communicating to panelists, which would be me and Mallory, who's my right hand here today, my wing woman. Change it to panelists and attendees so everybody can read your brilliance. But what do you most want here in Q4? And then I want to know what's gone well for you. I painted kind of a bleak picture of the state of the world right now. But have things gone well? Things have gone really well for us here at Susan Hyatt Inc. in many ways. So I'd love to know. Erica, I'm so proud of you. She's had a record month in August. I knew you could do it. She's one of my on the 6 masterminders. Candace says, I want to blow the socks off Q4, my minimum requirement 7K, but I want to really feel the fire of my business. Okay. Nadia says 30 women enrolled in Chakra Chicks. I love the name. Leah says, I want to get organized and make some really clear goals that are stretch. Okay, awesome. Hi, Christine in Santa Cruz, California. Aw, thank you. Jen wants her brick and mortar store thriving. Oh, you had a record month in August. Awesome, Jen. What kind of store is it? All right, Laura wants to leave her part-time job and coach full-time. Awesome. Kimmy took a fundraising gig for her company. Oh, awesome. All right. Valerie has been more creative. All right. Amy wants to rock the fourth quarter. Okay. Some of you Jen says houseplants and zero waste. You know what? There have been some real gifts in 2020 for me. One of them for sure is my backyard. I was somebody who considered herself somebody with a black thumb. Well, the pandemic showed me differently. Like I started to, because I've been home and not traveling all the time, really caring about my space in a different way. I always cared, but my yard is blooming and beautiful. My business is blooming and beautiful. We're growing. We keep hiring people. I think we still have 2 two jobs to fill in our company, a marketing assistant and a strategist. So we're growing, things are going really, there are some things that have gone really well. Some things that we really had to pivot was finish strong. Like that was always my biggest in-person event, and now it's virtual, and we're devoted to making it the best that it can be. Jen says the pandemic fueled her business. Awesome. Amy was able to focus on her bear coach training. I appreciate that. All right. All right. So there are some things, right? We always want to be turning towards what's been going well so that we can then admit, okay, what was my biggest obstacle this year so far? And I would say, and I would love to hear in the chat what your biggest obstacles have been. My biggest obstacle has been just rethinking my whole strategy for the year. Because when we as a team met, a huge part of our strategy was live in-person events. So in addition to Finish Strong, we had rooftop events planned for the whole year leading up to Finish Strong. And so maybe in 2021, it would delight me to be able to have a green smoothie or a cup of tea or some champagne with you on a rooftop. But our biggest obstacle was COVID and having to rethink everything and postpone an Italy retreat to 2021, you know, just really change everything about how I was being with clients. And Valerie says, letting go of what was not working. Okay. Visibility for your business. Ruby says up-leveling. Okay. Combining forces with your bestie. All right. Figure out the right people to connect with and then write emails in a way they actually respond to. All right. Okay. So if those were your biggest obstacles this year, these are all things that I have absolutely heard from others. So I want you to stay tuned. Again, stay all the way to the end because you might win a seat at Finish Strong, but we're going to talk about Finish Strong, the actual 2-day event. So what we want to talk about here is how to pick one goal for the fourth quarter and focus on that one goal. I want to help you create a list of things you're going to stop doing that's messing with your energy levels and motivation. And I have some examples of my own, and how to let go of any discouragement or disappointment that you feel about 2020 and move on with a clear mind and heart so you can finish strong. Does that sound good? All right. So I had an aha moment about all of this when I was filming Go Time TV a couple weeks ago. And I was interviewing, it's actually the episode that came out just today. So the episode that came out just today is about reinvention. And when I was thinking about reinvention, the person that came to mind was a friend of mine who is a very successful local entrepreneur. Her name is Amy Word. And I knew her from my real estate days. She was a school teacher. She taught school for like a decade. Then she sold real estate for a little bit and then reinvented herself, cashed in her 401k from her teaching career, and bought Lamasco's, which was owned by her aunt. And it was kind of a local neighborhood bar. And she cashed everything in and bought Lamasco's and didn't know anything about running restaurants or bar, and bet on herself. And at one point she owned 3 restaurants locally. Now she owns 2, Lamasco's and Amy's on Franklin, one of our favorites, and is now running for political office. And my aha moment in interviewing her and really thinking about the state of the world in 2020, I'm so glad you're all here, because I really believe that the world politics, the economy is going to be saved by entrepreneurial women. It's not going to be saved by people who aren't willing to go all in on their goals and dreams. The 2020 turnaround, at the pandemic turnaround, the economy's turnaround is going to happen because we as women stand together arm in arm and decide that we're rising, that we're going to do the damn thing. And when I interviewed Amy, I was so struck by, yeah, because women get shit done. We get it done no matter what. And we're usually doing a million things while we're getting it done. And Amy, the interview with Amy was so powerful for me because I've seen and witnessed this woman reinvent herself multiple times. And her personal story is really compelling too, not just her business story. Truly a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I thought, you know, she talks about how when the pandemic hit, all her eggs are in these restaurant baskets, right? And the pandemic hits and she shut down. And watching her during the pandemic decide that she would do delivery, curbside pickup. She got into feeding hospitals and first responders and healthcare workers as a way to make ends meet. And she talks very vulnerably and candidly about some of the very difficult, painful thoughts that she had about maybe I'm just done. Maybe my children are better off without me here. And how she was able to look in her rearview mirror of her car when she was having thoughts like that and say like, no, this story is not over. This year is not over, right? And so for all of us, right, the obstacles that we've experienced this year, this is not what defines us. What defines us is how we respond. And so I don't know about y'all, but I want to, on New Year's Eve, whether I'm allowed to clink glasses with a group of people or if I'm wearing a mask, toasting y'all on Zoom, I don't know, but I want to be able to say and feel proud that I did not roll up the sidewalk on my business because things got hard in 2020, that I decided to do things to tap into the deep reservoir of energy and intellect and power that I have and that each of you have, so that we can rock out this fourth quarter and just prove to ourselves and our clients and everyone around us that we as women are going to be the ones to shift this. So, oh, thank you, Althea. Thank you for watching. Yes, Divine Women Lead. So I'm asking, are you going to be one of those women on New Year's Eve, whether you're in your jammies, you know, having some cookies by the fire, or, you know, you're in the club if we're allowed to do that, having a party? Are you going to be one of the women who say, I went for it. I went for it. I did it. I'm proud. I was all in. I want to know. Tell me. We will clink glasses. Yes. New Year's Eve is always Betsy Pruitt's. It's her birthday. And so we're always together. We will have so much to celebrate. All right. So let's get back to that. That was my aha moment, you know, like, okay, it's important. This work is important. I want you to think seriously about, like, take some stock and think about what, other than like some of the obvious ones, right? The pandemic, the election coming up, maybe homeschooling if you're experiencing that. But what's kinking up? What do you think are your biggest energy leaks right now? What's currently affecting your energy, your vibe, and your motivation? I would love to know. Like, what do you think is the biggest offender to draining you? I would say, and we're also going to assess Q1 through 3, but I would say the thing that has been sort of kinking up my vibe is actually a positive thing, which is because I have been home, not just my yard transformed, I've been transforming my home. And there were plenty of things that I put off doing in the house because we were always going to move. And we decided to stay here, at least for one of our homes. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm staying, we're doing all this stuff. So having lots of extra noise and people in the house, that has really kinked up my vibe a little bit, but I've grown my capacity to do that. I would also say doom scrolling. Who knows what doom scrolling is? Doom scrolling's been kinking up my vibe. That means like scrolling on social media and going down all these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories and arguing with people on the internet. Like, y'all got to cut that shit out, okay? Because that's taking money out your pocket. But what do you think is kinking up your vibe? What is not serving you? What sucked the life out of you? And what was just so far this year? So what's currently not serving you? What, if anything, is sucking the life out of you? And what's been just so? So it could be projects that didn't go as planned. You know, maybe you launched something and it was like crickets and a resounding thud. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to stop the screen share and charge my mouse a little bit. By the way, do any of you have this mouse? It is such a design flaw that you have to charge it on the bottom. Like, why is this happening? Why is this a thing? Oh my God. Okay, let me see what y'all are saying and then I'll plug my mouse back in. I find myself saying, I can't believe so much. Yeah, constant outrage, spending too much time helping others, how people close to you are surprising you about mindset. Oh, Mallory's. Right? Like what is happening that you notice? I have been much better about doom scrolling. I have been much better about just not arguing with people on the internet. I had someone in class yesterday and we were talking about launching her company. And she was not putting herself out there as much as she normally would, because she's here right now, because she was worried about the judgment from other people or people arguing with her. And I was like, well, who says you have to argue? Like if they say something you don't like. And one of the things that has happened lately that I've noticed for myself is because I'm unwilling to give oxygen to drama and I'm unwilling to argue with strangers on the internet or people I know, that this woman, I put a meme up on my page where I used the F-bomb. And this woman was like, so crude. This just discredits you. Why do you have to talk like that? And I was like, I guess I'm a nasty woman, and just kept going, right? I don't have time to give oxygen right now with the world, with the state that it's in. I don't have time to give oxygen to anything that's not going to be in service to y'all or my family. So that may be something that you notice that you definitely want to stop doom scrolling, stop arguing with strangers. Valerie says hesitation has been one of my kinks. People are surprising me with their mindset shifts, spreading my wing. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, too much judgment going on. I mean, human beings judge, but it's just sort of like, I now am like, if I spend this 5, 10, 15 minutes arguing with this person, I could have sent a sales video out. I could have helped somebody for real. So I'm just not available for it. which leads me to something else we're going to talk about. First, I want to talk about killing your darlings, but what I was just mentioning, like, what are you going to stop doing? Chuck it in the fuck it bucket, which one of my former clients came up with, fuck it bucket, and I loved. But you want to think about, what are you going to stop doing, right? What's in direct opposition to what you say you want to create in Q4? So if I say that I want to be a lighthouse and offer women solutions to making money and creating businesses that work, what's in direct opposition with that is wasting time fucking around with people who want to argue online, right? But I do want to talk about killing your darlings. And this is a writing term. So how many of you are writers and know what it means to kill your darlings? It sounds so dramatic. I basically learned this when I decided that I wanted to start writing a book. And it is difficult to do. Hi, Renee. Killing your darlings is, so for Q4, you may have some great goals. You may have some great financial goals. You may have some great creative goals, whatever it is. I'm going to challenge you to pick one and focus on it. And in an effort to pick one and focus on it, oh, yay, Christine is a published writer. She's well acquainted with it. It's a writing term. It basically means, like, you may write pages of beautiful words, and there may be a headline, a paragraph, an entire chapter that you love, but you must kill it, meaning delete it, get rid of it, because it hurts the overall book. It hurts the overall piece of writing. And so it's an editing tool. It's like, hey, you might have to get rid of some pretty amazing words in order for the whole thing to work. And with business, it's the same thing. Particularly if we're going to focus on one thing in Q4, I want you to really think about, okay, I've got all these wonderful things that could demand my attention. But if I want to be focused on one thing and rock that one thing, I'm going to have to kill some darlings, which could be temporary, right? You could say, like, I'll focus on you, amazing project, in Q1, but I'm just going to be pretty focused here in Q4 and kill that darling for now. All right. Oh, right. I am so crude discrediting myself with the fuck it bucket. With that lady, there were so many things I could have said, like, you must be new here, because I think the F-bomb is a brilliant thing to say. I want to know what y'all are stopping doing to make room for your success and greatness. So we're going to hyper focus on one goal. By the way, this jean jumpsuit gives me life. I'm going to Scott Hyatt's race at Road America later today. I'm hopping on a plane to go do that. And I'm going to wear my jean jumper to look like, you know, I work in a garage or something, you know. But you may have trouble focusing on which one. Like, which thing are you going to focus on? That's what I hear a lot from people. So I'm going to help you out a little bit with choosing which one. Here's some criteria that can help you. So you want to pick something that helps you play to your edge, meaning something that's going to pull you out of your comfort zone a little bit. Playing to your edge is different for everybody, right? And so I don't want any comparing and despairing going on. What is edgy for some of us is easy for some of us, and vice versa. So I want you to think about, of all the projects you have, what's the one that's going to cause you to grow the most, is essentially what that means. And then once you choose, you must be all in, or this is not going to work. Right? No half-assing it. We want your whole ass in. And so here's the qualities of being all in. Here's what I mean by that. Your mindset. You've decided that you are ride or die on this project. Okay. Ride or die, like no matter what. Your actions are centered around that one goal, right? So you've claimed it, your mindset's on right, or you're getting help with your mindset. And then you're creating behaviors that match it. Your actions center around that goal. If you struggle in this way, you seek out info and support, right? So for me personally, we are very busy behind the scenes creating a new life coach training university. And I had to seek out a lot of info and support to pull that off, right? And it's a Q4 goal of mine. Q4 goal, we have diversity and inclusion specialists, we have curriculum specialists, we have a whole team of people working on this goal to get this university launched, right? And I did the next one. I outed myself. I have started publicly mentioning it, right? There's a layer of accountability that happens when you tell other people what you're working on. So be willing to out yourself on it if you can. I get that there's some projects you have to keep, like inevitably every time I teach that concept, so there's somebody in the group that's like, well, I'm working on a patent, and if I tell people I'm going to mess up my patent. I'm like, okay, you get a pass, but unless you're working on a patent, shut your face, out yourself. And you also have to be willing to look stupid, right? I could fall flat on my face with this university and look like a fool. I'm willing to do that. I'm not gonna, but I'm willing to do it. And the other quality of being all in is that you're sick of not going for it. You're really sick of your shit. You're tired of waiting and not doing your thing. I'm going to talk about the make a scene method here in a second, but I just want to see what's happening in the chat about this. Betsy had to kill some amazing potential lovers recently to focus on the real deal. Awesome. Amy's all in. You never know unless you try. Thank you, Beryl. All right. Tasha is tired of her own shit and excuses. All right. All right. So here's what I want to know is, based on those qualities of being all in, you're ride or die, you're going to pick a goal, you're going to play to your edge, you're going to out yourself, all those things. Are you all in? You're sick of your shit. Who's all in? All right, Betsy's all in. Awesome. Hi, Steph. All right. Good deal. Good deal. All right. So the make a scene method is pretty simple. It's basically using your voice. I didn't realize, by the way, I see up there in this graphic image, the little rock that says, fuck that. I was laughing about this woman that was so offended in my choice of an F-bomb, because I was like, I literally use that word so much that I forget that people have a hard time with it sometimes. And as you can tell, there are curse words like throughout the slide deck. So salty language required. Using your voice and then deciding, okay, this is my message. I'm going to move that message using some kind of marketing vehicle, right? I'm going to use social media. I'm going to use email marketing. I'm going to do paid ads. I'm going to do organic stuff, like whatever it might be. You need a vehicle to move this message, and you've got to create and try that. And also be willing to celebrate your victory. I can't tell you how often I work with entrepreneurs who are literally unwilling to acknowledge what they've done. You know, like you have to stop and pause and celebrate what you've accomplished or tried, even if you don't accomplish the thing, right? Even if I do all this work and the school doesn't launch, of course the university will launch, but like I will have to celebrate the fact that I was all in and tried. And then the last piece of this is, which can be a challenge in 2020, is something I talk about a lot, which is staying in the miracle. Which staying in the miracle is really, I always talk about my grandma when I talk about this, because I want you all to think about your ancestors, right? And I don't have to go very far back at all to think about my grandma, who she maybe had a 5th grade education. She took care of all her younger siblings because she had a mother that was very ill. And she went from being a caretaker in her mother's house to marrying my grandfather and having children and being a homemaker, having a garden. You know, she was basically a caretaker her entire life until she got older, until those kids moved out. And then she was like, I'm retired from everything. I'm just now queen, so treat me as such. But I think about, I was the youngest grandchild, and she used to say to me things like, Susan, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And she never worked. I mean, she never actually had a paying job. So when I think about it, I think about some of the things she said to me. My siblings are like, she never said that to me. But there were certain things she said to me about getting your education and doing your own thing, and no one can ever take that from you. And I think about how, of course, I do believe she's with me and does witness from beyond what's happening. But think about your grandmothers and your great grandmothers and prior to that, and the miracle of the internet, that we are able over Zoom to talk about growing our businesses in Q4, having conversations about making more money and claiming our power and disrupting the patriarchy and all those things. Like, my grandmother would be gobsmacked. She would be floored, right? The internet's a miracle. Zoom is a miracle. Being able to operate my business out of this bedroom right now is a miracle. And I want you, even though I'm challenging you and inviting you to, even though 2020 has been a shit show in many ways, it's all a miracle, right? And when we start looking at the opportunity that we have before us in Q4 as a miracle, that can change, right, how you move forward and participate in an all-in way, right? So if I'm thinking everything's terrible, just hit me up in 2021, y'all. That's a completely different vibe, and I'm unwilling to have that be my attitude than being like, you know what? Q4 is mine. This is all a miracle. I'm going to make it a miracle. I see lots of chitter chatter happening. Right. So many people talking about their grandparents. My bad grandma would be totally judging you for saying fuck so much. My grandmother actually would as well. I can hear her now. She would be like, Susan. She used to always say it like that too. She would like move her little body and she'd be like, Susan, because I was always, as you can imagine, making a scene and saying ridiculous things with the family. But she was highly amused by it as well. All right. Stay in the miracle. I want to invite you all to stay in the miracle. So you have some options before you. You can be a lone wolf about it. I know how that is because I kind of like my quiet. So you can do things on your own for sure. You're very capable. You can buddy up with a friend. So maybe you want to create like a Q4 finish strong powwow buddy friend to do some of this with. You can hire a coach. I have you can hire me or lots of coaches I can recommend to y'all. Or you can also join us for Finish Strong, which is what I promised you I was going to be talking about here at the end. So here's the full jean jumpsuit coming soon to Road America. So Finish Strong, it's not just me. I have a whole panel of amazing female entrepreneurs who are going to blow your minds. We have Denise Duffield Thomas, who's famous for talking about money, Alexandra Franzen, who's the head copywriter for my agency and also one of the best copywriters alive, Takora Davis, who is my IP attorney, who's going to talk about copywriting and trademarking, Erica Hines, diversity and inclusion specialist, Teresa Reed, the tarot lady. If you don't know Teresa Reed, she's amazing. Mako Ward, who has spent her entire career studying gender, gender, class, and race bias. So she is going to enlighten us as well. And then Anamika, my COO, who's going to talk about strategy. And I'm going to talk about all kinds of delicious things on how to grow your business. It's a 2-day virtual conference that's basically dedicated to what we've already touched on here, which is finishing the year strong. It's happening October 1st and 2nd, which is a Thursday and a Friday from 9 to 5 Central Time. And we're going to transform your mindset. So hot trends in the coaching industry, developing your next signature program, money blocks. Day 2, we're going to pull it all together and get it done. We're going to give you stuff to plan, pitch emails. We're also, you guys, this is going to be fun. I have so many things planned that are unexpected and plenty of turnaround moments, like the story I told about Amy Word, like real women who have turned things around for themselves and how they did it. So profit, plans, pride, plan to get more clients, make more money, finish 2020 feeling strong and profitable, set yourself up for success. We're going to take your business to the next level. So you're going to get fresh ideas, ways to be more successful, focus, take things to the next level. Depending on when you register. So here's the thing. The lovely Bianca is working so hard to get these swag boxes out in the mail. But every participant will receive one of my Go Time planners, the 2021 version. This is what it looks like. I'll show you last year. So last year was the Strong Woman edition. This year, it's gold. It's Go Time on the front. Flowers for my garden. It's normally priced at $65. We also have our 2021 feminists that are featured in the book. Cora Hyatt's in there, my daughter. There are daily prompts, daily motivational quotes. There's some of my strategy and coaching tools inside, like for each quarter to help you get that going. And here, I definitely am going to pause for questions. But there's 2 different levels to Finish Strong. So the Strong level is $97. You get a ticket to the 2-day conference and the Go Time planner. The VIP level, you get that, plus you get a special custom-made journal. There are 3 additional sessions for the VIP peeps at later dates. Next level communication plan workshop, amplify your business with design and social media workshop, and an advanced time management workshop. Those are for the VIP level, which is $497. So I wanted to share a little bit with you from participants last year, what people had to say about it. This is Michelle Berry Franco. She's a speaking coach, and she's talking about like, hey, these events are full of surprises, content, and brilliant women. Sylvia Yagla, it's an amazing opportunity not only to enjoy the event, but really get to know other people. Susie Rosenstein, who I love me some Susie. She talks about one of my personal goals is to be less resistant to planning, to be doing it with an amazing group of women, even better. And there's just tons of testimonials here. It's a great event. It's the collective spirit of the whole group mixed with Susan Hyatt's special sauce. Awesome. This is the lovely Leah, who is such an amazing artist. She has painted some beautiful artwork that's currently hanging in my home, but she talks about how she loves my energy, and part of buying a ticket last time was her success strategy. She is rocking it. This entrepreneur, multiple six figures, love her. So here's how you can reserve your spot. I know Mallory is rocking the chat right now. So you can go to the URL, SH Finish Strong 2020. There's a bit.ly link. And you can click on tickets at the top of the navigation. The page looks like this, right? When you click on tickets, you can pick your level, strong or VIP. And then this is where you enroll, click submit, and you're registered. It's like confetti. And so then your next steps will be clicking on a confirmation, get ready to get your beautiful planner in the mail when they're done. We're also going to send you a Finish Strong 2020 pre-event checklist so that you're ready to go on Thursday, October 1st. And that's that about the event. I would love to know, we're not doing the free ticket giveaway. I want to know what was your biggest takeaway today about finishing strong, being all in, staying in the miracle, like whatever spoke to you. I would love to hear that in the chat. And because we want to know who's still here. And then the lovely Mallory is going to let us know who our winner is of the free seat to Finish Strong. So Nadia says, ancestors cheering us on. Anthea says, I'm not behind. You are not behind. Leah says, letting go of things that aren't working. Valerie went to both Chicago and San Diego and have maintained friendships after both times. Ah! It's always so good to see you. The dates are October 1st and 2nd, Thursday and Friday. I see Mallory putting the link there. Kimmy says, willing to look stupid was what she took. Jackie says, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Low-key spoke to my soul. Karen says, what am I giving oxygen to? That was her takeaway. Thank you, Jackie. Playing to your edge. Identify and eliminating energy leaks. It's real. It's really real. Ruby says, killing a few darlings, key. Beryl says, the amount of time I've spent doom scrolling and the allocation of my time. Yes, there will be, Jenny, great question. There will absolutely be recordings for Finish Strong. So we're recording the whole thing and you can watch on demand. There's a whole schedule of beautiful things happening for that event. Betsy says, it's time to do my thing. People need me. Focusing on one thing for Q4 sounds freeing. Yay, Lori. Awesome. Ruby says, stop doing lists, putting it on a sticky. Okay. Keep those takeaways coming. We're going to do our free ticket giveaway. And what I want to know, Laurie says, I can't make both days. Are the sessions recorded? Yes. Yes, ma'am, they are. Before, Mallory, you tell us who won, I want to hear if you've captured any questions I missed or if people emailed in questions ahead of time. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, so one of the biggest questions that we get is if someone's not a coach, they want to know if this event is right for them, or if they're just starting out their business, is this really the event that they should be showing up for?
So yes and yes. We have entrepreneurs of all types who enjoy Finish Strong for sure. It's stuff that any business owner who's doing business in this day and age online needs to know about. And then in terms of being a new business owner, for sure, like a lot of the stuff that I teach, I wish I'd known, early on. So for sure. Oh, yay. People are working on their signature program.
So another question is, I know we just talked about the recordings, but afterwards, how long will people have them to watch? That's been something people are kind of like, is it just a week or will I be able to watch them for forever? That's a big question right now.
Oh, forever. Yeah, they're yours. They're yours. We'll send out the recordings and you can take your time. Although you don't want to wait too long because this is about slaying the fourth quarter and finishing strong. But for sure, you get to keep those. All right. Anything else, Miss Mallory?
I think being super clear on the dates and the times. What days is it taking place? What times? Will there be a lunch break? What can we expect?
Yes, there's a lunch break. It's Thursday, October 1st and Friday, October 2nd from 9 a.m. Central Time to 5 p.m. Central Time. And we do give you 30-minute lunch breaks. And we have little buffer breaks in there too, but it's a packed, amazing schedule with fun thrown in. It's not going to be just boring talking heads. It's good.
Something else we've kind of been getting is people who have attended Finish Strong in the past, or even if they haven't attended Finish Strong, but they've gone to other live events, they're a little bit worried because this is such a different aspect of doing it online. Mm-hmm. So I think it's an aspect of like showing up. How do they know that this is going to be something that they can sit through and really enjoy?
Because because I had cute signs made. Listen, I take it very seriously if you invest your time and money with me to make it worth your while and blow your mind. So for basically the cost of a planner, you're going to get some amazing content. So it's like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, I'm telling everybody that they need to get their asses there because honestly, you know, you're really going to be playing yourself if you don't. That's how I feel. Like, you need to be there.
And then it wasn't on the slide, so let's talk about this. What is, or at least I missed it if it was, what is the price of Finish Strong this year?
$97 for the strong level. So you get the planner that's valued at $65. And you basically, you know, shipping, and you get a conference for free. And then the VIP level, which includes the 2-day conference, the Go Time planner, a custom notebook, and a cute pen. We actually didn't show the pen, but the pens are super cute. And then 3 additional trainings for $497. So that's the price. Those are the days.
So those 3 additional trainings are during those 2 days or after those 2 days?
After, because we can't fit all that in, right? We've got a chock full schedule on October 1st and 2nd. And then the VIPs get to enjoy 3 additional trainings later in October. And we've got those dates for you. But there's a training on creating a communication plan, social media, and time management. They're all so great.
Is there anything else included with the VIP level that maybe the strong level doesn't get?
Did I forget to say something?
We have like the special little journal, don't we? And things.
Right. I called it a notebook.
Oh, okay.
I called it a notebook, but it's a journal. It's cute. It's like,
I didn't know if you have it there with you.
It's not this one, but it's this size. It's cuter than this. This one says Making It Rain, which we gave to our mastermind peeps. But you know who has that? Bianca has that. I used it in a video earlier and gave it back to her. Darn it. I could have shown it off.
I remembered you flashing it. Everybody loved it. It was like, everybody saw it and they loved it.
Yeah, it's so cute. Okay. I think it's time to draw the winner, Miss Mallory. Who you got? Who wins a free strong level? This is the $97 level.
I really hope I don't butcher this first name. Althea Bueller?
Althea! Althea Bueller, you win, boo. So we will get with you. Congratulate everybody. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. Congratulations, Althea. Yes, you won. Congrats. I so like, whether you show up for Finish Strong or not, I know and believe in you that you can create the fourth quarter that you dream of. So be all in, stay in the miracle, and remember that you have everything that you need to see this through. So thank you so much, Mallory, for being here with me. Thank you, everybody, for showing up live for yourselves. We will get this recording out, and I hope I get to see you at Finish Strong October 1st and 2nd. So bye, guys. Thank you so much.